All right, back out here this morning, gonna finish putting the pistons in there today. I found my ring compressors this morning. They're exactly where I didn't leave them. I left them in a chair, and somehow they ended up in the spare bedroom on the floor under a bunch of other tools and white towels and all kinds of stuff. Wife knew exactly where they were, but we found them. Gonna lube up the big end bearings now and clean the crank off, and then get these pistons stuck down in here, and we'll be going. And then hopefully we'll get the oil paint on there today. I'm not done with the cylinder head yet, so that's another video. Still have to do the machine work on the head. We can get it done maybe by the end of next week. I think the wife's off this weekend for 3 days, so we'll be doing whatever. And then when she works next weekend, I can get back over here and finish this thing, hopefully have the head done. All right, let me get this crank cleaned off and lubed up. Got a nice cold rain out here today. Probably about 40 degrees, maybe 40 something. There's going to be a high of 45 today, maybe. Do these one at a time. Pull the cap off. Already cleaned the crank off. Pull the caps off of this and move it up. Need to get this thing in here. Now when you're doing these, you're going to want to, again, make sure everything's clean. Make sure your bearing shells are down on the insert where they're supposed to be. The tang is where it's supposed to be. They're about even. Lube them up good. And you're going to want to clean off the rod bolts real good if you haven't replaced them. I didn't replace these, but they need to be good cleaning. Then you're going to put a little assembly lube on the rod bolts too, down on the threads, so you get a proper reading when you're torquing them down. No burrs on them, no dirt, none of that. You're going to liberally lube the bearings now. And remember, you don't need to over-oil the skirts of the piston. Just a little oil down the cylinder, clean white rag, wipe it out. Assembly lube. In the cap there. And then give it a good smear. Hopefully your finger's clean. And a little bit on the rod bolts there. Do a little dab on the skirt here. On each side. Now that's really all the lube you need. Just give it a good smear around the skirt there. That way the rings will seat nice and easy. And make sure your ring gaps are all staggered the way you want them. Go off where the oil ring gap is. And then that one's going to be opposite. Preferably about right there. And then the other one on the other side about right there. And then the top ring back over here. You don't want them lined up. All right. Grab my ring compressors. Need to get that one in there. Now, you think I'd have this already set out the way I wanted before I started filming, but that's one right there. This old cheap set of ring compressors I had to get to replace my snap-on ones. Snap-on ones work good, but I was out of action for a while and lost quite a few of them. Lost the pliers, maybe missing probably 3 of the rings out of the set. You think that work is good, but they're cheap enough. They work good enough for this. Rain's really starting to come down now. I'm going to have to pause this while I get situated here. I don't need a 47-minute long video. Alright, got that one started now. Going in with number 4 first. Got the oil ring started. I got my damn piston turn. The rod's probably hitting the crank now. You see if I can spin this thing around real quick. stuck on something here. Let me climb up onto here and make sure I got the rod sitting right. Okay, got two of them in there. A couple of pointers, since you can't really feel real good when you're up underneath there. The little nubs on the rod bearings go towards each other. So when you're putting the caps on, or you can take, just match those up. Remember to throw a little extra lube on the bearings when you put them up in there. And if you take some like them little plastic, real thin vacuum caps and stick on the rod bolts, those work good so you don't bung up the crank when you're going down there. Kind of eases it over the crank, so if you get it misaligned, you're not going to scratch the crank with the rod bolts. Tape, cellophane, vacuum caps work good because you can just pinch the top of them and pull them off when you're done and go to the next one. You can also use like a metal marker. Just mark the caps with, I use yellow to mark the big end of the rod cap to the rod, so you just color match them so you know which one goes away. Otherwise, the two little depressions for the rod bearings go next to each other is the other way to do it. I find it's easier to do them if you just have the crank two up and two down. Either way, I do them with whatever throw I'm doing all the way down. It's just easier to do it like that for me. And I'm going to stick, I got number one in there and bolted down, haven't torqued it yet. Just got it maybe 10 foot-pounds on there to hold it. Until I do the rest of them, I'm getting ready to do number two now. Or actually backwards, I did four. I'm doing number three now. Getting ready to stick cap on there, and then I'll do the rest of them. My ring compressors work, but they're not the best ones in the world, but they're working. So let me get the rest of these in here. I'm not going to make you watch me crawl up and down trying to get up off and down on the floor out here in the cold with my arthritis. It's not a pretty sight. I can get up, but it takes me a couple minutes. And then I'm ooh and ahhing the whole time. It's real nice when it's cold out. I'll go home. Last night I went home and had to soak in a hot tub for a while. Damn hip was killing me. Hip and knees, hands, everything. All right, let me bolt this up. And then we'll do 1 and 2.